What up, YouTube? This is your boy Robert B. Brown, host of the Rob Report. And I'm not on the go. I'm taking a break from the camera, my computer hot, and if it get too hot, it's gonna crash. That's why we're doing the 20 by 25 by 25 by 25. 25 hours of putting up content and commentary in hopes to gain 25 $25 donors within the next couple of hours. I mean, within the next 24 hours. I have a goal to meet for some equipment upgrade and taking the channel up to another level. And I'm looking for a remnant that's willing to donate, that have an extra $25 to donate. I know we got the political campaigns going on, but the New York primaries are here, and I'm trying my best to do whatever I can to be out in the field, highly equipped to meet with some of these candidates. I'm going to try my best to meet with AOC. I'm trying to bet my best to meet with Bernie Sanders and ask them some hard questions, some questions. Like one of my questions is, what you got? You got a problem with the cash payment for reparations? What's the problem? Stuff like that. But anyway, no, I just want to, I'll ask any question. I don't care what it is. And if you got questions you want me to ask, those who are donating, give me about 5 questions you want me to ask every political um, candidate that's running for any office that I may meet. All right. So let me get in the story. Still in this 25 by 25. I'm kind of sleepy, and I want to take a quick nap before I get back into it. So I did take a quick nap, rest a little bit. My voice is going out, and I saw this. Okay. This is from VOX. It says Bernie Sanders is beating every other candidate in Nevada. Bernie Sanders is beating every other candidate in Nevada. Now, it used to be a day and time where there was a kingmaker there in Nevada. And that was his name is slipping me. His name is slipping me. Apologize for that. Harry Reid. Harry Reid was the man in Nevada, and he is the kingmaker. And it used to be you couldn't win Nevada unless you go through Harry Reid if you're a Democrat. And Harry Reid got so much pull with union leadership. And you already know I am a union organizer, and I believe in unions, and I believe in the purpose of a union. But oftentimes, because the executives are making so much freaking money. And look, running an organization like that, it's work. You don't expect them to get millions like a CEO, but to be in charge of of an organization of 500,000 to a million members, oftentimes you deserve a great pay because your work is pale beyond. You are so many places, so many different places, so many times an hour. You're always on the go. There's always a pull on you from the membership, always a pull on you from the leadership, from political department, from organizing. It's just a lot of pull and a lot of decision making. So I'm not going to take lightly on the fact that union leaders could go 6 figures. And 6 figures isn't compared to most congressmen make 6 figures, but it's nothing compared to running a company. I mean, it's compared to like running a company, but you're fighting for the needs of the workers. So sometimes organizations don't mind paying so and so 150,000 a year because you don't understand the work that those guys got to go through. But to be making $500,000 million a year, I don't think it should go that far. But being inside union organizing, I don't know how I got on this. um, Union bosses do make good money. And my thing is make sure the money justify the mean. If we're paying you 6 figures, then your butt need to be working. I mean, we don't believe in breaking your back, but our investment into you has to, you don't sit in the office and sit down and smoke a cigarette. You got to be out there campaigning with your workers, pushing your workers. But let's get on this. A new Nevada poll put Sanders ahead in the state by 7 percentage points. 7% is huge. Senator Bernie Sanders addressed his supporters in New Hampshire victory. A new Las Vegas Review Journal, AARP Nevada poll. Remember, I say always check the polls. It shows Senator Bernie Sanders leading the Democratic presidential field in Nevada, where the third contest of the Democratic primaries will be in 1 week. I want to hit play, but I know that it'll probably be some commercial. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a commercial. Anyway, the poll found 25% of likely Democratic caucus goers support Sanders. Let me repeat that. The poll found 25% of likely Democratic caucus goers. So this is basically on the support of Democrat caucus goers. I don't think this is open, so you're not going to see independents and all that come to this. And we all know what happened in 26 with that shenanigans that went on with Baba Boxer and all those fools. Everybody and huge numbers were caucusing for Bernie Sanders. And when it came to the vote count, the yays were higher for the Bernie sides and the noes were, when they tried to say Hillary Clinton, it wasn't as loud as aggressive. And this fool still hit the gavel and gave Hillary Clinton the nomination. And of course, folks went off. I would have went off too. You wasted my energy coming all the way down here to caucus, and you're going to ignore what I'm trying to do and how I'm working. And to me, Bernie Sanders should have called them folks out. But Bernie Sanders, sometimes people got to cheat me sometimes. No, ain't nobody cheating me, calling you out. The poll found 25% of likely Democratic caucus goers support Sanders, 18% back former Vice President Joe Biden, 13% former Massachusetts Senator Warren, 11% support former hedge fund manager Tom Steyer. Both former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar have support of 10% of likely caucus goers, and 8% of respondents said they were undecided. So they're not going to give Tulsi Gabbard no count in this, and she's still in the race. Ain't that something? I know at least 2% is going for her. So they're going to try to shut her out completely. But you notice Pete Buttigieg is not polling well with Nevada. Nevada is a multicultural, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Arab. They're multicultural. And most of them are leaning toward Bernie. Now, I just recently saw somebody up here and said, well, do you think that if Joe Biden, no, this was H.A. Goodman. H.A. Goodman used to be good. I used to conversate with H.A. Goodman. He was a friend of the Tim Black Show. He is part of the crew. And we love H.J. I don't hate H.A. Goodman because he going full Trump. That's his right to go full Trump. And he's justifying it. I don't hate him. But he's not right about everything, just like I'm not right about everything. He's saying, well, if Joe Biden run out of waste, where do you think those people are going to go? They're going to go to Tom Steyer, or they're going to go to Mayor Bloomberg, or they're going to go somewhere. Mayor Bloomberg ain't got nothing to do with Nevada, but they're going to go somewhere. Well, according to this poll, they all going to Bernie. If Joe Biden drop out, Bernie is their second choice. Republicans polling from WPA Intelligence conducted the telephone survey on behalf of the Review Journal and AARP Nevada in the days after the New Hampshire primary, February 11, 13. The poll has a margin of error of 4.8 percentage point. It is important to note that this poll, while professionally conducted, should be taken with some caution. The results are certainly in line with a recent trend. So now they want to be cautious with the polls when things are leaning in Bernie Sanders' favor. But if it's not in Bernie Sanders' favor, it's true. It is what it is. Take it as it leave it. Sanders has surged in numbers of national and state polls and ahead of the Nevada caucuses. Many have noted that he made strong investments in the state and has unrivaled support from Latino voters. Unrivaled support for Latino voters. All right, so what about other voters? What about Black voters? Now, look, Nevada is heavy with Latinos. Nevada is not that far from California and New Mexico and all that. So it's going to be a lot of Latino voters that's going to be going out voting. And according to this, they ain't voting looking for no, you know, Joe Biden, because Joe Biden got on the View talking about, well, 98 to 99% of black people haven't voted yet, so you can't count me out because they all on my side. Well, not according to this, bro. But the marginal area means Biden could actually top the field in the state. No, the marginal area won't. You lying hacks. Bernie Sanders lead in the Latino vote. Lead. But the marginal error means Biden could actually top the field in the state. And broadly, Nevada is the state that is notoriously difficult to poll accurately. Now they're trying to claim polls are inaccurate. You quote a poll, and the poll is saying Bernie Sanders is leading, and then you trying to say, well, nah, don't listen to that mess, man. Actually, Biden is going to poll well with it. Biden is really polling well. Forget this poll that we put up. This AARP mess, man. I mean, that's, elderly people, dementia and all that kind of stuff. You can't say that about elderly people. You can't blow them off. They called them, and they leaning toward Bernie Sanders. Latino votes leaning toward Bernie Sanders, and even a lot of black votes leaning toward Bernie Sanders. That's just the truth, whether you like it or not. And whether you agree with it and you think that's foul, Latinos shouldn't support them, blacks should support them, they should support Buttigieg and all that kind of, I don't get in that philosophy. That's people's choice on who to support. Our job is just to educate them and let them still gonna make decisions. So, but no, they're trying to say now Bernie Sanders leading, you can't trust the polls. I was saying you can't trust the polls in the first place. The way you gauge is what's happening on the ground. How many people you got out there hitting the doors, knocking on doors and standing out in the malls and trying to get people registered and all that. Who's out there fighting for you? Bernie Sanders' money is long. His army is 1 million on the ground. His platform is something that people gravitate toward. And he got that machine going. There's nothing you could do about it. Nothing. The Democratic Party can try hard as they can, but it's not going to be easy to shut down this machine. This machine is solid. It's going to be hard to shut it down. If you ain't got 1 million boots on the ground, your 100,000 ain't going to do it. It is so difficult that according to Real Clear Politics, here we go, it's so difficult that according to Real Clear Politics polling aggregator, there have been only 3 major Nevada surveys in 2020, in contrast to more than 20 conducted in advance of the New Hampshire primaries. So here they are, licking the boots in the butt and the basketballs of Joe Biden, trying to make sure he still shows himself valuable since he's second in command and Bernie is in the lead. So now Bernie Sanders in the lead. It's hard to kind of gauge. It's difficult it's so difficult that according to Real Clear Politics polling aggregator. Get out of here, you hacks. In both previous 2020 Nevada polls, the state seemed to be torn between Biden and Sanders. Get out of here. A Suffolk University, I told y'all about these university polls, / USA Today poll. A Suffolk University / USA Today. So you're going to get a corporate media / Suffolk University poll. From early January showed Biden in the lead with 19% support, Sanders with 18%, and their nearest competitor one was 8 percentage point behind Fox. Well, baby, it's not January, it's February, and we done had a primary and a caucus, and Bernie Sanders won both of them based on the numbers on the ground, and he's surging. And you can't deny that, and they trying to deny this. A Fox News poll taken at the beginning of January, stay out of January, stay on February. We had 2 elections. My man got a bump. He's surging. And now y'all trying to come out, trying to lie. Say January showed Biden coming in with 23% support and Sanders at 17. That's in January. Things will change. Especially when you come out of 2 states winning. So you 2 for 2. The only thing you can holler is, well, Pete Buttigieg is actually winning because he got more delegate votes because you gave it to him through rigging. You're rigging mother. God help me. Sanders at 17%, Warren and Steyer at 5% point behind the senator from Vermont. Why polling in Nevada is extremely difficult, briefly explained. So what they're trying to say now, these media hacks, guys, don't buy this. I hope they see this video. You are some dumb, stupid fools. I'm talking to media. First of all, I tell people don't trust in polls, number one. Number two, I tell them look at who's polling. If it's some newspaper or some TV channel or some TV network, don't trust it because they're going to spin it the way they want to spin it. So you can spin this all you want. What was this? Who's this? VOX. VOX. You can spin this all you want. You can try to take the momentum out of the Bernie Sanders campaign. I've tried that in a lot of ways, and it still ain't working. You could try it, ain't gonna work. And you could try to crap on this man's 2 victories. The bottom line, he got 2 victories. The bottom line, they rigged and cheated to give Pete Buttigieg. He know he's not at 8 delegates versus Bernie Sanders. They don't want to change it once they find a mistake. They know Bernie Sanders got more delegates. But they want to keep that up there and tell a lie and fire the person, tell a lie. We can't change it. Once it's set in stone, it's set in stone. That's a doggone lie. That's what recounts are for. You can't do that with a caucus, but still, you go back through the numbers and you'll find out who led who. They actually going to try to explain why polling in Nevada is difficult. So let's go over this lame excuse. Like Nevada is different from New York, and New York is different from Iowa, and Iowa is different from Florida. There are a few reasons why Nevada is so difficult to poll accurately. If Joe Biden was in the lead, they wouldn't even be saying this mess. After the 2004 election, the state switched from holding primaries to caucuses and was pushed much earlier on the primary calendar and part of an effort to make primary systems more exclusive of the Democratic Party. Demographic makeups Nevada's population is almost a third Latino. While this change did make the Democratic primary more diverse, it has also introduced new uncertainties in the polling. Who says that? Just because you said it, Vox? And candidate selection process. This has made pollsters work more difficult in that response are always familiar with the ins and outs of caucusing. And because decades of caucusing data isn't available to help build models or make assumptions. Stop with this stupid stuff. You do it like you normally do. You call people, or you knock on doors and meet people, and you get their opinions, and you tally up from that. Stop making this harder than what it really is. All of a sudden, Bernie Sanders in the lead. Oh, it's difficult. It's hard. So you can't really say he's in the lead because he's really not in the lead. Joe Biden is really in the lead. As 538, Claire Malone has reported, part of the difficulty of Nevada polling is that it's simply harder to talk to people. How much harder it is to talk to people in Nevada. They live regular lives like everybody else. They got a phone like everybody else, and you can call them on the phone like everybody else, and either they're going to cuss you out, hang up the phone, or they're going to answer the question just like everybody else. Get out of here with this mess. The state has a disproportionate amount of people who work odd hours and a relatively transient population. What they got to do with anything? You can call people at night, you can call people in the day, you can call people in the middle of the day. Still ain't got nothing to do with it. It's still the same. You call people, either they going to say, man, don't call my house no more and hang up, kiss my behind, or they going to answer your questions. It don't matter what time it is. And you are a state where you open 24 hours a day, just like New York, and call centers are open. You can still call people no matter what time it is. You wake somebody up out of their sleep, they're going to cut your behind out just like anybody else everywhere else. Stop using that as an excuse to try to say you can't listen to the polls. Yeah, they say Bernie Sanders in the lead, but you can't believe that. He's not really in the lead. Joe Biden's leading this thing. Get out of here. That all being said, the polls finding don't seem surprising given how Sanders is trending across the nation and given the demographics of the Democratic electorate in Nevada A recent national poll conducted by Morning Consult, for example, shows Sanders is dominant among Latino voters. Dominant, with more than double the support of any other candidate in 2019. Sanders received more financial support from Latino donors than any other 2020 hopeful, snagging up over a third of roughly $24 million that Latinos donated to the Democratic presidential candidate. Let me stop there for a second. This is the reason why a lot of Black people push so hard for their agenda, because to be truthful, we feel like we're being erased. It's kind of like what the white race think they're doing. They think they're being erased. We don't feel like we've been erased from the earth and erased from society. We feel that since we pretty much gave blood, sweat, and tears in our lives to build this country, we never profit off the blood, life, and tears of this country. And oftentimes when you say this country is a country built on the back of immigrants, you piss Black people off. Because if it wasn't for Black people fighting for equal rights, we would never had an immigration bill to allow other people to come into this country. So yes, we, in most cases, celebrate our immigrant brothers left, right, front, and back. But to have white society neglect us and go straight through us to the immigrants and hold them up and kind of give us the hand and the finger, it's an insult. And we're not mad at you. We're mad at them for doing what they're doing. And that's why we fight hard for reparation. That's why we say no Black agenda, no vote, because we're sick and tired of you ignoring us to cater to everybody else. It's not that we're not all about this one melting pot in America. It's that it's like vegetables. Everybody's going in the pot to get cooked. But we the salt and the pepper of the United States. And that meal will taste bland if you don't take the salt and pepper and put it in the pot. We are what makes this place taste good to every other person that's coming into this country. It doesn't matter whether you're from Dubai or whether you're from Tokyo, whether you're from Seoul, Korea, or whether you're from Kingston, Jamaica, whether you're from the Bahamas. It doesn't matter. We are the very season that make everybody else taste good in this country. Everything was built on the blood, sweat, tears, fears, and death of Blacks. See, we don't consider ourselves immigrants because we never desired to come here in the first place. And if we desired, it was because we were told about a broken, the American dream. We built the American dream. Let me get off this because that's another subject. So to hear that Bernie Sanders is getting most of the support from Latinos is great. But nobody talk about the Black support to Bernie Sanders and how much money the Black support is. But maybe they'll talk about that when they get to South Carolina. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But most Democrats are dropping when it comes to Black support because of everybody trying to go through us to get to everybody else and give them everything they need to get their support, but yet want our support without giving us something. We'll give you immigration rights. We'll give you all this. Vote for us. But when it's time for us to ask for something, Negro, just get in there and do what you always do. Vote Democrat. That ain't happening this year. Following the New Hampshire win, Sanders is on the rise in other polls as well. Sanders has leaped from third place to second place in the past month in South Carolina. According to the East Carolina University poll released Friday, the university pollster found Biden has 28% support in the state. Sanders have 20% and Steyer has 14%. Now, let me tell you something. The reason Steyer has gained in numbers when it comes to South Carolina is because Steyer is talking about reparations. Steyer is talking about he's taking the mantle of Marion Williamson and made it his own. But black people, you cannot really trust Steyer either. You can't be hoodwinked and bamboozled. See, my gauge on whether you'll do for black people is when you're a billionaire and you have done no initiative to help the black community, you can't just come to me saying you got this initiative to help blacks when you never had it when you were a billionaire, or you never had it when you were a mayor. All of a sudden, you know you need the black vote, so you're going to come up with something to try to hoodwink us to get our vote. And contrary to what HA say, if Steyer is out of this, South Carolina thing, who you think those black voters going to go to? You misunderstand black people. To me, I say if they don't have a black agenda, don't give them anything. Don't even let them poll you. If they say, "Hey, I'm from Monmouth, I want to know who you're voting for," and it's like, well, none of them's giving me any kind of tangibles, none like that. Right now, none of them. So why don't you poll this? You're not going to keep going through us to everybody else. You're not going to bypass us and put your hand in our face, yet still expect us to vote for you too. And we vote in 90s in the percentage. No other culture vote in high numbers like the black community. Well, I can say right now, Donald Trump and his base they coming out and voting for that brother. I mean, he's broken Obama records when it comes to turnout in Iowa and New Hampshire. But let me keep going. According to an East Carolina University poll released Friday, the university pollsters found Biden has 28% support in the state and Sanders have 20% and Steyer has 14%. South Carolina has been considered Biden's firewall. He said that about Hillary Clinton. In the primaries, his path to the presidency relies on heavy support from black voters. See, they want to make this about Biden now. All of a sudden, you took a story about Bernie Sanders leading in Nevada and made it about Biden. But this support there has been declining. Sanders has also been looking strong in key states that will vote on Super Tuesday, a day when more than 33% of the race's national delegates will be up for grabs. In particular, as VOX Dylan Scott reported on Friday, Sanders is surging in Texas and in California, and the most delegate-rich states vote on March 3rd. A new University of Texas Tribune poll, all these college polls, shows a Sanders surge, and with Vermont Senator increasing support by 12 points since last fall, up to 24%, and ahead of former Vice President Joe Biden at 22%. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts is in third place at 15% in the poll, which was taken January 31st to February 9th, and has margin of error of 4%. Former New York City Mayor Bloomberg gets 10%. Former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota are in the single digits. Earlier this week, a Capital Weekly poll of California taken February 6th and 9th gave Sanders a healthy 13-point lead over Warren, well beyond the margin of error. With 29% of the vote, Biden, Buttigieg, and Bloomberg were clustered between 15% in the polls. The Sanders surge in the polls. Let me stop for a second, guys. Let me go back here. Warren she's hanging by a thin line, by a thread. She just sent a message out saying, sound like James Brown, talking about please, please, please. Baby, please donate. We need to survive. She's lost donors. A lot of those donors going to Bloomberg. Biden is losing donors. A lot of them going to Bloomberg. They're going to prop this guy up. They're going to let this billionaire buy him off. They're going to be one of the proudest whores on the block. And that's what the Democratic National Convention is a big house full of whores. And they want you to be part of their whore campaign. Just give us your vote. And you ain't even got to pay for it. I'm going to give it to you free. At least a whore wants some money for her goodies. You got people who whore around and they know they're a whore and they just addicts and they just want to give it up because it don't matter. I just need to get the thrill. They're addicted. And then you got some hoes say, look, I like the thrill too, but you're going to pay for this. I got more respect for that hoe that's going to tell me I got to pay $100 to get something from them. I don't know where I'll be coming up with these analogies. So, earlier this week, a Capital Weekly poll of California taken February 6th and 9th gave Sanders healthy 13 points. Okay, we read that. The Sanders surge in the polls is pretty clear phenomenon, and a victory in Nevada seems quite possible. The key question there, and in other states where he is leading, is whether he can pull off the sorts of decisive victories needed to ensure his position to win a majority of pledged delegates before Democratic National Convention in July. And as of right now, that's far from a sure thing. How can you say that? They only did 2 primaries. And they cheated to give Pete Buttigieg the delegate edge. In this United States of America, when it comes to running in the primaries, it should always be he who got the most votes take all the delegates. That's what the Republicans do. He who has the most votes take all the delegates, winner take all. But now this punk organization want to say, it don't care if you got the most votes. We're going to we're going to give this person delegates and that person that. Number one, screw the delegates. We shouldn't even be having delegates. It should be whoever won the most votes in that state, win that state. Screw the delegates. Don't need no freaking delegates. Just at the end when it's time for the convention, we don't need the delegates to be parading themselves outside and trying to look all big shot. No, at the end of the day, at the convention, he who has the most votes tallied up is your nominee. Delegates ain't got nothing to do with it. Super delegates, none of that. Stop with this mess. Democratic Party has gone so far totalitarian and authoritarian, it's ridiculous. You trying to put party leaders and all that in charge of winning elections. I'm done with this story. Bernie Sanders is surging. They're trying to say, I don't know. It's kind of difficult in Nevada. 9 times out of 10, Biden is still in the lead. I don't know. But and look, Bernie Sanders got to step his game up and win big because, right now, him and Pete Buttigieg is neck to neck. Pete Buttigieg is going to be done in the next 2 primaries. The only thing that's going to keep him in the race is a bunch of billionaires trying to fuel his campaign. That's no different from one billionaire trying to fuel his campaign and buy this election. He's dead as water. He's going to be the next DNC chair, and he's going to make it worse than Tom Perez. Because the Intelligence Committee got dollars in this guy. They've been grooming this guy for a long time. He's going to do some hard work as DNC chair, and eventually in the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to run him for office for again. And God help us. Hopefully, I'll be retired living in Canada in my 3 container homes stacked up on top of each other, hopefully, or maybe somewhere in some island. I don't want to deal with this mess around here. So, look, Bernie is surging. Dude got hot momentum, man. He's hot like fire right now. Heart attack didn't do anything but made him more aggressive. The Democratic Party cheating him is making him a little more aggressive. Not aggressive enough for me, but at least he's a little more aggressive. Anyway, let me get off this thing. I need to get some little rest because I'm going to be back on this 25 by 25 thing. You'll like, share this video on the social media platforms. Hit the notification button. Make sure you know when a video is dropped. Whoop, there it is. And by means, again, we want you listening to this. We would love for you to be a part of our remnant, part of our brigade, the part of our hardcore soldiers known as the 25 by 25 brigade. or Bob's Brigade. I don't want to name it my name. I'm going to come up with a cool name. You can help me. Okay. These are people who are donating $25. Start off one time, and then in the next 90 days, we're going to do $25 a month donation from that particular order. But right now, we're looking for 25 people to donate one time $25 to the Bob TV network. Probably in the next 12 hours now. I think we've been doing this 12 hours. Say this is 25 hours to get 25 people to give $25 to this campaign to help us upgrade computers, us upgrade lighting, and kind of beautify this thing to make it look more professional. I'm not trying to be a news reporter. I'm a brother from the hood that comment on the news and give my opinion on some of this bull crap that's going on and help people weed through this stuff and help educate them, give them the knowledge about the politicians that in their district that they're going to be voting for, and getting them to know, get familiar with these people. So I want to do that, go out and interview, and, I just want to go out there and connect people with the politician to make a demand that they do more service to the people, do more service to corporations. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. Enjoy your night. And thank you, everybody who donated so far today. You have a good day.